trusted news source. This is Channel 8 News at 5.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Friday night. We begin this evening with a three-car crash that happened this afternoon on 27th Street.
It happened just north of Capitol Parkway a little before 3 o'clock. Two people were injured and taken to the hospital with what we were told are non-life-threatening injuries. No one had to be extricated from the vehicles, but as you can see, quite a bit of damage done to the vehicles. The car crash completely shut down the road from Randolph to E Streets, and police are still investigating the cause. Now we go to the legislature. Today was the third day of debate over LB 77.
And it ended with senators voting to advance the bill. Channel 8's Matthew Mittleider was at the Capitol for the results of that vote. He joins us here in the studio. Matthew?
The final vote count was 36 for and 12 votes against the permitless concealed carry bill. Over the past 3 days of debate, senators made many of the same pro and anti-gun arguments that we've heard before. Opponents say allowing more people to own concealed weapons without a permit makes Nebraska's communities more dangerous, while supporters say it's our Second Amendment right to own firearms and responsible gun owners shouldn't be restricted. After the vote, I spoke with Senator Brewer, the bill's author, about his thoughts on its chances this year.
I think it will pass this year. I feel very good about it. And the governor's already assured me that he'll sign it, so I'm hoping that come April or May, we have a ceremony and we get constitutional carry of the law of the land in Nebraska.
It's not over till it's over. So at this point, it goes to ENR for further review, and then it goes to select file. So we have another 4 hours of debate once it gets to select file. And last year, the same bill failed on select file to get the votes.
Brewer says this bill has been through a number of different versions over the past several years in order to get more law enforcement on board. Both the Omaha and Lincoln police chiefs, as well as Omaha's mayor, Gene Stothert, opposed the bill. LB 77 will now go through the enrollment and review process, where it will be checked for technical and grammatical accuracy. It will then head to the next round of debate. We'll keep you updated as it moves forward.
All right, Matthew, thank you so much for an update on that story. New details tonight in the case of a Lincoln fifth grader who brought a loaded gun to school.
Police say the Prescott Elementary student got the gun from his home. They do say it was properly stored with a gun lock, but the child was able to find the key and brought it to school. The county attorney told us the boy is too young to be charged with anything, and the parents will not be charged either. Officials say that case reminds all of us owning a gun comes with huge responsibility, especially if you have kids in your home.
While there are several ways to keeping them safe, officials say some equipment is more secure than others. Channel 8's Veronica Barreto talked to law enforcement and to a gun shop owner, and she joins us now with more. Veronica?
Officials say in many cases, curiosity moves children to look up and find firearms in a home. They say it's the gun owner's responsibility to keep it in a safe place. Captain Weedy with the Lancaster County Sheriff Office says some options are more safe, especially if you have kids at home.
Keys are the lowest tech solution that you can come up with. So they do make lock boxes that have biometric readers. They can read your fingerprints. They can do retinal identification. You can get into those boxes pretty quickly.
Usually at gun shops, people can buy different types of gun locks. They all vary on prices and level of protection. The owner of Big Shots says every gun sold is required to come with a cable lock.
Probably the best home security is to have a regular safe, combination safe that is, obviously fire rated, very hard to break into, not impossible, but they're very difficult.
Officials also remind parents to talk to their children about firearms, like why they are, what they can do, and decide where the best and safe place is in the home to keep them. They also say parents should be aware of where their kids are staying and if there is a firearm at that place. Coming up at 6 o'clock, I will have more on other safety options, and we will take a look at how they work.
All right, Veronica, thank you. We look forward to that. Going back to the legislature now, a resolution to ratify an amendment to the U.S. Constitution was heard in committee today. Senator Blood introduced the resolution.
She wants Nebraska to make a statement against child labor exploitation. Back in 1924, an amendment to the U.S. Constitution was proposed to authorize Congress to regulate labor of anyone under the age of 18. Now, the amendment never reached the 3/4 threshold needed to be passed. Senator Blood said while this resolution wouldn't change any laws about child labor, it would show Nebraska doesn't stand for child exploitation, and she gave an example of the meatpacking plant in Nebraska that violated labor laws.
So forcing children into labor at an early age, it perpetuates the risks and impact of poverty. This resolution is not about preventing our children from learning how to be responsible. It's not about disallowing Nebraska children to generate income. I'm not going after any particular sector here in Nebraska. It's about making sure that those who are working are protected, are seen, and given opportunities to rise, not stumble, because they are lacking sleep.
Senator Blood is hoping Nebraska could be the catalyst to get it finally ratified by the required amount of states to become official. If Nebraska ratifies it, there would only be 9 states left. 2 constitutional amendments are currently under debate in the legislature. These changes are part of the EPIC consumption tax, which stands for Eliminate Property, Income, and Corporate Tax.
Those taxes would instead be replaced by an 8% sales tax on all new goods and services. Channel 8's Jatine Tinsley is at the Capitol, where they're discussing the bill right now. She joins us live. Jatine?
Good evening, Rod and Megan. And it was a hot button topic here at the Capitol today regarding the EPIC consumption tax. And what does that stand for? That stands for the elimination of property taxes, income taxes, and corporate taxes. Dozens of people filed into the Capitol today in hearing room 1524 to oppose it and also in favor of the bill. You had Senator Erdman said, quote, in his opening statement, people have lost their homes due to paying an exorbitant amount of never-ending taxes, and Legislative Bill 79 seeks to fix this. Another person that I spoke with earlier today who supports the bill, she says that she's tired of paying taxes on the same items. And what that means is used items are taxed, and when they're sold, they're taxed again, and then taxed again, and then taxed again. This bill would put an end to used items being taxed. Now, on the flip side, there were several people who did oppose the bill, and one of those people I spoke with talked about his car industry, and in his car industry he thinks that it'll stop people from buying new cars, because if there's no taxes on used cars, what would be the incentive to buy new when the used cars have that incentive where they won't be taxed? We'll have more on this later tonight at 10. Jatine Tinsley, back to you in the studio.
No doubt, a very interesting topic. Jatine, thank you so much. We'll talk to you later. Also in the legislature, a push to increase term limits for senators.
An amendment would increase the limit from 2 to 3 consecutive years. Senator Robert Dover, the new senator that took Mike Flood's seat, introduced the amendment. Some believe new senators don't have enough time to learn the ins and the outs of the legislature, especially regarding rules and procedures, and when it comes to allocating and budgeting money.
I'm looking at extending it to 12 years, and someone say, well, 12 years, if you can't get it done in 8 years, why should it give you 12? Well, we're only in session. In 12 years, we would only be at work in session for 2.5 years.
The amendment would have to be approved by the legislature for it to be on the ballot in 2024. Then it would be up to the voters to either approve raising the term limits or not.
Well, I hope you're enjoying your Friday, late afternoon, early evening. The weather is just very nice, right, Rusty? Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. For early March, this is doing pretty good. Now, this is going to be short-lived. The weekend's looking really good, but next week we've got some changes to talk about. But until then, enjoy. Everybody can get outside and enjoy some of the warmer temperatures. This is what it looks like outside right now in Beatrice. We've got mostly sunny skies. Schoen's Roofing showing us a lot of blue sky and temperatures that are very comfortable. We've got 57 degrees in Beatrice. Wow, 58 in Wymore, 56 Hebron. 55 in Nebraska City, Dawson and Falls City, you're at 58 degrees. The airport in Lincoln is at 57. As has been the case lately, though, cooler to the north, 37 in O'Neill, some 40s into the Panhandle, but still 54 in McCook, 50 in North Platte. Not a whole lot of wind, and what wind is out there is just out of the north at 5 to 10, maybe 15 miles per hour. A little light mixed precipitation in north central and northwest Nebraska. We're mostly sunny, though, for a good portion of central and eastern Nebraska. Clouds will try to increase as we head through tonight, but it does look like we have partly cloudy skies for a good portion of the weekend. There is a slight chance that portions of eastern Nebraska may see a flurry very early Saturday morning and then becoming just partly cloudy and warming up. 53 on Saturday and 64 degrees on Sunday. That's not quite record highs, but it's getting close. But after Sunday, we kind of start to slide downhill. I'll show you how far the slide goes down in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Rusty. Here's a story we've been covering now for about 2 months. The statewide search for Bob and Veda Proctor continues tonight. The elderly couple you might remember from Aurora disappeared more than a month ago.
The search has consumed their family, but they say they won't stop until they get the answers they need.
This is my mom's side, that's my dad's side. When we was over there the other day, I prayed with my mom's rosary.
The Proctor family continues to look every day for a clue as to where the couple might be. They go back and retrace their steps to the day Bob and Veda were last spotted in the Aurora Town Square. After calling the police, the Proctors spent days trying to figure out where the couple went the night they were last seen. There were sightings of their car reported in Giltner and Hastings.
We just go day by day with trying to figure out what is the best option, or what is the most important thing that we should be working on that day.
The way we discovered something was wrong is we made some dinner for them. When Victor took the food over there to them, they were not there and it was dark, and Grandma most generally doesn't drive after dark.
I haven't worked one day since this happened. We're constantly calling someone, driving somewhere.
The family thinks the couple simply got lost while trying to find their way back home. Now their lives are dedicated to finding them and this car. That was their blue 2007 Chrysler Pacifica. UNL is raising awareness for colorectal cancer today as the American Cancer Society reports a rise in cases in younger adults. Early screenings and knowing your risk level are important.
It's the fourth most common cancer in both men and women. In fact, about 1 in every 5 cases is happening in individuals who are younger than the age of 55. Now, the good news is getting screened is easy. It starts with a visit with your primary doctor who will help you determine your risk level. And coming up on our newscast, the jury returns a guilty verdict in the murder trial of Alex Murdaugh.
And today the judge sentenced him. The latest after the break.
Salvage Warehouse has the best
After just a few hours of deliberation, the jury delivered a guilty verdict to Alec Murdaugh. And today, Murdaugh was back in the courtroom where his grandfather's portrait stood before the start of the trial.
During his sentencing, the judge remarked on Murdaugh's fall from grace as he went from a well-respected lawyer to a convicted murderer.
I know you have to see Paul and Maggie during the night times when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they come and visit you. In the murder of your wife, Maggie Murdaugh, I sentence you for the term of the rest of your natural life. For the murder of Paul Murdaugh, I sentence you to prison for murdering him for the rest of your natural life.
Now, one juror broke his silence, telling ABC News a vote was taken at the start of deliberation, and not everyone thought Murdaugh was guilty. Two said not guilty, one wasn't sure, but it only took about 45 minutes for everyone to agree, bringing back guilty charges on all counts.
I respect this court, but I'm innocent.
And it might not have been you. It might have been the monster you become when you take 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 opioid pills.
Murdaugh still faces nearly 100 other charges related to alleged financial crimes, and his defense team is already planning to file an appeal, saying there was no evidence to show those crimes were connected to the murders.
Now, your Storm Alert team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
What a quiet day. Looking outside right now, Southeast Community College at 84th and O Street, lots of blue sky, temperatures well above average. It almost feels like late March, early April than it does early March. But here we are, and it's enjoy it while it's here, because you know this time of year, boy, we can fluctuate. Everything can change very, very quickly, but for now it's 57 at Southeast Community College, 55 at Touch Cooler at East Campus, almost 60 Yankee Hill Road in the airport, checking in at 57 degrees. I don't see any 60s on the map. Usually Falls City tries to get really close, but not quite. 58 degrees, 57 Beatrice, 55 Fairbury, 56 in Hebron, and then a little cooler in parts of the Tri-Cities with 54 in Grand Island, 50 Central City, one of the cooler spots, but still everybody's in the 50s and everybody's about 10 to 15 degrees warmer than we were 24 hours ago. 14 degrees warmer in Lincoln, 17 degrees warmer in Beatrice. Not much of a wind either, so no wind, lots and lots of sunshine, and temperatures in the middle and upper 50s. That's a top-notch day right there. And it's Friday. Goodness sakes. Mostly clear skies on the satellite and radar. If you live in north central and northwest Nebraska, maybe a rain-snow mix, very light, not much happening there. Trying to move also into the southwestern corner of the state, into the Panhandle, just south of Scotts Bluff. But most of central and eastern, in fact, all of central and eastern Nebraska is quiet. But we could see a little something late tonight into early tomorrow morning. A little rain-snow mix trying to continue its journey out of the west and head our way. Now, by the time it gets here, it kind of fizzles out. Clouds, maybe a couple of flurries north, a couple of rain showers east. Because we're so close to all of this, I think by 4, 5, 6 in the morning, maybe a couple of snowflakes in some spots of eastern Nebraska. It doesn't really show up on Stormcast. In fact, high pressure just kind of pushes this out of the way, and I think by noon on Saturday we'll see a mix of clouds and sun, clouds to the north, sun for everybody else. So it looks like a whole lot of sun is coming our way as we head through the second half of the day on Saturday. Then a few more clouds try to move into central Nebraska by Saturday night, and then by about 11 p.m. I think just about everybody should see some clouds, maybe a couple of flurries well off to the north and west. So a quiet start to the weekend, and this is mild. This is almost 10 degrees above average. We should be around 22, 23 degrees. Instead, we'll be in the lower 30s, 31 in Lincoln, 31 in Beatrice, 30 in Fairbury. Partly cloudy skies, we'll say tonight, eventually clearing out too. Light northwest wind. 31 degrees, and we warm up quickly. We'll be between 50 and 55 degrees for the highs tomorrow. 50 in Omaha, Columbus, York, Hebron and Fairbury at 55, along with Beatrice, and 53 in Lincoln. Now that early flurry, just mentioning it, won't amount to much, but warming up right after that. That northwest wind at 5 to 15, and 53, you think that's warm? How about 64? That's really warm. I did have to check. The record high is about 10 degrees above that, so we won't get close to that record high on Sunday. But that'll be the warmest day out of the next 10 because we start to slide downhill. And we go quite a ways downhill too. 52 degrees on Monday, 46 on Tuesday, and then down into the lower 40s Wednesday, a little mixed precipitation, maybe some snow Thursday, another chance on Saturday. And then we bottom out, I think, on Saturday, which is around 28 degrees, just in time for us to change the clocks and spring forward Sunday morning, and then temperatures start to make their way back uphill.
All right. Thank you very much for the beautiful Friday, Rusty. And hey, a positive end to the work week on Wall Street as well. The Dow gaining 387 points. NASDAQ is up 226. S&P adding 64. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
If you had written this, no one
week, and it sounds like the weekend's going to be pretty nice, Rusty, but not record highs.
Close. We'll see temperatures that are going to get really close to that record mark, about 10 degrees away. So I guess not really close, but still middle 60s for Sunday, middle 70s the record high. That's is that shorts and t-shirts weather?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, that's might as well issue a shorts awareness day for Sunday because that's what's going to be happening. My kids are already they've been doing that all winter anyway. So let's take a look outside because there's just a lot of sunshine to look at. This is Aurora, the Penner Bathing Solution Camp. The flags are barely moving too. When you've got a ton of sunshine, temperatures above average by about 10 degrees, not a whole lot of wind, and it's Friday, That's a top-notch day there. So get out and enjoy if you can. Let's see what the temperatures look like across the board, because I think everybody is pretty mild. It looks like the cool spot on the map is Norfolk right now, 48 degrees. Everybody else in the 50s. York at 50, Aurora at 51, along with Columbus. And then much warmer in Beatrice and Lincoln, 57 degrees and a calm wind in the capital city. I mean, how often does that happen? We do have a little mixed precipitation in north central Nebraska, but that's about it. Just about everybody else is seeing mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies. Now, we could see a flurry early, very early Saturday morning with temperatures dropping into the lower 30s. And then we warm up quick and clear out too. I think we'll see plenty of sunshine the second half of the day. 53 on for a high Saturday, 64 very mild degrees on Sunday. Then cooling begins on Monday with 52 degrees. And we'll see plenty of sunshine. So still a pretty nice day on Monday. Here's your hour by hour for Saturday. We start off right around 30 degrees with maybe a flurry or two, and then eventually seeing the sun come out the second half of the day. 53 by 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 48 degrees by 6 p.m. Really just a fantastically mild early March weekend headed our way.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining us.
Enjoy your evening. We hope to see you right back here at 6 o'clock.
With the Channel 8 News mobile app, you'll be the first to know